What does one actually do as a system of initiation practices? The core of it has to be the awakened self, which would be connecting to the mind of God. So one of the most fundamental practices for the Rosicrucians is what they call the 6 basic exercises. Why are there 6 basic exercises? There's the understanding that the different energy centers in the human body have a geometry to them. And so the Hindus teach that the heart center is a 12-petal lotus. In other words, there's a 12-fold differentiation of functions inside the heart center. Within those 12 centers of the heart, in our previous stages of evolution, we've already developed 6 of them. The other 6 we need to develop now. So every one of these 6 exercises actually develops one of the petals on the heart chakra and helps bring the heart into full activity. In general terms, the 6 basic exercises, the first 3 parts of them, the thinking, the feeling, and the willing, thought, speech, and action for the Buddhist, head, heart, and hands for the Sufis, upper and middle, lower Dantian for Chinese Taoists, etc. We have these 3 primary centers, thinking, feeling, and willing. We have to begin to self-observe. We have to observe, what am I thinking? What am I feeling? What am I doing? That act in itself will actually begin to use the light of our consciousness to illuminate the thinking process, to illuminate our feeling process and our willing process. What this allows us to do is we can then begin to see how much of what we go through every day internally is completely unconscious. It's just one reactive state after another. You get a particular external trigger, and you have a particular reaction to it. If you did this, you would end up reaching the goal if you did nothing else. If you don't do this, nothing else you do will matter. But when we begin to see how much negative feeling we actually harbor about other people and all the things in the world, it's not a pretty picture. And so it's a matter of really observing and illuminating these different aspects of ourselves and then stabilizing them. If a person does not have stable thinking, feeling, and willing, no higher development is possible. These things are the absolute foundation. Without this, there's no foundation to the building. The building will collapse. Then, of course, we have to start working on soul qualities. So the next thing is to work on positivity. You know, we all know that positivity is important, but you'll actually find that it changes the vibrational quality of the subtle bodies in a way that changes your resonance with other beings. And openness. This is being open to new information, new ways of seeing things. The openness is to be able to see things from multiple perspectives, and the more perspectives you have, the closer you get to its reality. And the last part is simply to harmonize all this together, the harmony of all aspects. Because when you're not used to doing this, you got to focus on one thing at a time. Today I'm focusing on observing my thinking. Today I'm observing my feeling, etc. This is the foundation in the background for doing the deeper work. So that's the 6 basic exercises. Another practice was called the backward review. The backward review is very important to do at the end of every day. What the backward review is that at the end of your day, as you're about to go to bed, the meditation to do is to intensively from that moment when you're about to go to bed, go backward through your day in reverse order. Now I'm at the moment just before I went to bed. Now I'm at the point where I went to the bathroom. Now I'm at the point where I watched TV. Now I'm at the point that I had dinner. Now I'm at the point that I'm driving home from work, etc. You go back through the day, all the way back to the point when you were last asleep. It might have been a nap. It might have been early that morning. But by going backward through that day until the last time that you woke up, what you're actually doing is you're becoming conscious of the activities of that day. So it's a part of this whole waking up process. By going backward, thinking backwards, we're actually developing a new strength, like we're flexing a muscle within our etheric life body. The etheric life body is our body of memory. When we begin to exercise the capacity to think backwards instead of forwards the way we normally do, we're actually exercising something in the life body of memory that will become a force that can be used for higher initiation and alchemical purposes later on. Next, we have the observation of life forces, of growth and decay. Now, the observation of the life forces does something very significant, very important, and that is that it develops a particular type of clairvoyant faculty inside of us to see how things move through life processes from one stage to another. It also leads us to actually perceive the hidden spirit and spiritual beings working through all the forces of nature. Then, of course, the study of spiritual science we talked about before is fundamental because we have to put down those concepts that allow us to logically understand how things fit together. Now, as we're studying things, we have a particular practice that we do. It's called the dissolving practice. The dissolving practice is an alchemical way to read spiritual text, so that if you're reading a text from any spiritual tradition, what you're actually reading as words on the page was the attempt of someone to crystallize into written language a direct spiritual experience that they had. That means the words have to be dissolved into a direct inner spiritual experience.